In this session, we will be talking about presentation skills for medical affairs. But first, and in order to set the ground, let's agree on something. While general presentation skills, such as maintaining eye contact, showing enthusiasm, and appropriate body language, are universally beneficial, the context of medical lecturing demands a deeper and more sophisticated, specialized focus. In medical affairs, the ability to effectively convey scientific evidence and data is fundamental requirement. So, while you can find hundreds of resources to learn more about the general presentation skills, we will focus in this episode on the skills that you need for external medical lecturing and internal medical sessions. Let's start by listing down the situations when medical affairs teams are required to present or give a presentation. In fact, medical affairs teams are often required to present in a variety of situations and platforms, each with its unique audience, objectives, and expectations. Here is a list of scenarios where different presentations and potentially different skill sets are needed. Of course, we will not go into each category details and settings. However, it is important to understand that for each of these situations, starting from advisory boards, educational sessions, media presentations, internal meetings, peer-to-peer sessions, roundtable discussions, virtual sessions, each of these situations require a tailored approach, considering factors such as audience's knowledge level, the presentation's objectives, and the specific context of the discussion. Mastery in diverse presentation skills, ranging from data interpretation to persuasive communication, is essential for medical affairs professionals. Why? To effectively address the varied demand of these platforms, to satisfy a very diversified base of audience, and also to convey complex medical information. Presentation skills are indeed a mandatory requirement for medical affairs professionals, given their pivotal role in communicating complex medical information to both internal and external stakeholders. The ability to deliver clear, accurate, and impactful presentations is crucial, as it directly influences the decision-making process, patient outcomes, and the overall credibility of the pharmaceutical organization. For internal stakeholders, effective presentations facilitate informed strategic planning, foster interdepartmental collaboration, and ensure alignment with the organizational goals. Externally, they help build trust with healthcare professionals, regulatory bodies, and patients by providing transparent, evidence-based information. Given the significance of these skills, evaluating a candidate's ability to deliver effective presentation should be an integral part of the hiring process for medical affairs roles. This evaluation can be conducted through various methods, such as asking for a demonstration during the interview, reviewing past presentation materials, or via conducting a structured assessment that simulates a real-world scenario. Assessing presentation skills before hiring ensures that the medical affairs team is equipped with professionals who can represent organizations' scientific rigor and commitment to quality healthcare effectively. Ultimately, investing in individuals with strong presentation skills is investing in the organization's reputation, the success of the products and strategies, and the health of the patient it serves. Another important question to answer: are the presentation skills needed for medical affairs different than the general presentation skills? My answer is yes. Let's see why. First, because of the complex subject matter. They deal with highly technical and specialized information that requires a deep understanding of medical science and pharmaceuticals. Two, the diverse audiences. The presentations of the medical affairs must cater to a wide range of stakeholders, each with different levels of knowledge and interests, as we mentioned before. Three, regulatory compliance. Medical affairs team must navigate and adhere to strict industry regulations and ethical standards in any communications they do. Four, in addition to the general compliance standards, there are other specialized ethical considerations because the need to present information in a very balanced and unbiased manner is very important for medical affairs, especially when they discuss drugs, benefits, and risks. Additionally, the interdisciplinary knowledge. Medical affairs colleagues often bridge the gap between clinical development and science from one side and the commercial team and commercial strategies from the other side, requiring a broad understanding of both scientific and business aspects. 6. The patient centric approach. The presentations of the medical affairs often need to focus on patient outcomes and benefits, requiring a compassionate and empathetic communication style. 7, and very important, the need for an academic approach during the presentations. An academic approach to medical presentations is very important for several compelling reasons. In healthcare, where decisions can have profound implications on patient outcomes and public health, the accuracy, depth, and the integrity of the information are paramount. Adopting an academic approach ensures that the presentations are very well grounded in the latest and most reliable evidence, and also structured and delivered in a manner that upholds the highest standards of educational value and scientific rigor. That means if you are talking to academic colleagues, you have to speak in an academic way. I always used to say that the academic writing is a way of communication for medical affairs, whether for written or verbal communication. This academic approach fosters a culture of continuous learning and critical thinking, encouraging both the presenters and the audience to engage deeply with the content, question assumptions, and make decisions based on robust evidence. Moreover, the academic approach helps in building credibility and trust among peers and stakeholders, as it demonstrates a commitment to excellence and a respect for the intelligence and expertise of the audience. In the pharmaceutical industry, knowledge is constantly evolving. An academic approach to medical presentations is not just good to have, it's a fundamental necessity for advancing medical science and improving patient care. In addition to the academic approach, medical affairs colleagues need to follow a strategic pathway when giving presentations. And the necessity of strategic thinking in medical presentations cannot be overstated. In an environment where the landscape of healthcare is continuously shifting and the stakes are high, the ability to think and communicate strategically is very important. Strategic thinking enables medical affairs professionals to present the data and also connect it meaningfully with the broader organizational goals, healthcare trends, and patient needs. It involves anticipating how information will be received by different stakeholders, understanding the wider implications of data, and effectively positioning the message to align with ethical considerations and regulatory requirements. So, by integrating strategic thinking into the presentations, medical affairs colleagues ensure that their communication is not only informative, but also it influences and persuades and drives meaningful actions. This approach is vital for navigating complex healthcare ecosystems, fostering collaboration, and ultimately contributing to informed decision making that would enhance patient outcomes and advances medical innovation. In this section, we will talk about the academic approach for building a medical presentation. The academic approach to crafting a medical presentation is like the process of academic writing, where the structured methodological dissemination of information is the key. Just as you would meticulously organize a scientific article or a publication, you apply a similar methodological structure to your medical presentation. In academic writing, you typically begin with an abstract, followed by the background, methodology, and so on, setting the scene and laying the foundation for the narrative to unfold. Each paragraph is designed to convey a single coherent idea, with all the paragraphs interlinked to form a cohesive argument. Similarly, when structuring a medical presentation with an academic approach, you ensure that each slide is arranged in a way to build upon the previous one. This progression is crucial, and it gradually constructs and strengthens your argument, layer by layer, with increasing evidence and analysis, such as the paragraphs in academic writing are connected to maintain the flow and the coherence. Each slide in your presentation should seamlessly lead to the next, ensuring that your narrative is compelling and logically sound. This approach not only enhances the clarity and impact of your presentation, but also reinforces your arguments with a solid foundation of evidence mirroring the precision and rigorous data provided in the academic writing. Additionally, structuring a medical presentation with the academic approach involves a meticulously and systematic method that emphasizes clarity, credibility, and comprehensive coverage of the topic. So let's get started, and we will start with the title and introduction. Imagine stepping onto the stage. Your presentation begins with a title that immediately captures the essence of your topic, concise yet descriptive, setting the stage for what's to come. As you introduce yourself, your credentials lend you credibility, assuring the audience that they are in capable hands. You then articulate the purpose and objectives of your talk, outlining what you hope the audience will gain, setting the tone for a journey of discovery and insight. Then we move to the background and context. As you dive deep into the background and context, you are setting the scene, providing the necessary backdrop that frames your topic, whether it's discussing the prevalence of the condition, the current standard treatments, or recent developments in the field. You are building a narrative that engages and informs. The problem statement is very important. It comes then into focus, clearly defining the gap in knowledge or gap in data or unmet patient need or the issue at hand that your presentation aims to address. This is in the background and context section. And as we move ahead building our presentation, we come to the third section, which will be the literature review. You will start a literature review summarizing relevant research and findings from credible sources. And this is not just a summary, it's a demonstration that your presentation is built on a foundation of solid and current scientific understanding. So it's very important. Don't miss this part. As you critically analyze the literature and discuss its strengths, weaknesses, and gaps, you are showing depth of understanding and setting the stage for your unique contribution. So, in this section, you will discuss the most relevant and latest research findings or articles discussing the point that you want to make. And also, you will critically analyze these results. So, if one of the findings, for example, is not well balanced, you can say this. If the data is not very solid or the level of evidence is not very strong, you have to say this. And then we move to the fourth section, which is the methodology. If you are presenting your own original research, the methodology is where you will describe the approach taken to gather information or conduct your study. You can explain why this methodology was chosen and how it's appropriate for addressing the problem at hand, providing clear justification that reinforces the rigor of your work. So if you are presenting something new based on a study for someone else, again, you will continue describing the methodology and say why you advocate for this methodology or see that is the most appropriate methodology to bring the expected results or answer the research question. After the methodology section, we come to the most important part of the body of the presentation, which is data and findings. And here you present your data and findings. Imagine the audience following your narrative as you bring clarity to the complex information. Through tables, graphs, charts, you make your data accessible and understandable. Your interpretation of this data is key, discussing what it means in the context of your topic and how it addresses the problem or adds to the existing body of knowledge. It's very important here to select the data and the evidence that is strong, reliable, and builds on your scientific claim. And then the discussion section in the publication is equivalent to this discussion section in the presentation. Here you will explore the implications of your findings. How do they impact current understanding, clinical practice, patient impacts or outcomes, and future research? You also acknowledge any limitations of your study or your scientific claim or the presentation demonstrating academic honesty and deep understanding of the research process. The language we use is data highly suggest rather than stating facts without the research language. So again, it's the academic way of writing that dictates the language that we speak, whether it's in the presentation or even in an email. Closing your presentation, you come to the conclusion section as you draw your presentation to the end. And you summarize the key points and findings, bringing your narrative full circle. If appropriate, you end with a call to action, or follow-up questions, or follow-up steps, or recommendations based on your findings, providing a clear path forward for your audience. And that when you are done, it's time for Q&A session, questions and answers. And now the floor is open for questions and discussions. This is your opportunity to engage directly with the audience, clarifying points, adding more information, and probably showing some backup slides if needed. And this will deepen the understanding of the topic. Don't forget to include references, as this is a part of any medical presentation, with to include a list of all the references used in the topic to demonstrate the topic. meticulously cited according to the academic standards, underscoring the credibility of your work. Throughout the process, remember the importance of clarity and precision and the necessity of an evidence-based approach. Don't convey subjective feelings, rather refer to evidence-based facts. The need for professionalism and the power of engagements is very important. These are the hallmarks of an effective academic medical presentation, one that not only will convey the information but also will inspire and drive the field forward. Let's wrap up this session with 10 major recommendations for medical affairs colleagues to consider when giving external or internal presentations. First, know your audience. Tailor your presentation to the knowledge level, interests, and needs of your audience. This is very important given the variety of audience that we present to as medical affairs, including patients, internal non-medical colleagues, payers, and maybe non-medical or someone with no medical background like media, for example. Clarity is very important. Communicate complex medical information clearly and avoid unnecessary jargon. Storytelling technique is a must. And here we can use the academic approach even if the presentation is very short. Use patient stories or case studies to make your data relatable and memorable. Effective visual aids. Utilize charts, graphs, and images to simplify complex data and keep the audience engaged, but don't overuse them. Practice active listening during the discussion. Encourage and respond to questions and feedback to foster a two-way dialogue. Stay ethical and compliant. Ensure that all information is accurate, balanced, and adheres to the industry regulation and ethical regulations. Engage with confidence, and here you have to project confidence through body language, eye contact, and the general presentation skills with a clear, strong voice, and so on. Rehearse your presentation before giving it. Practice your presentation multiple times to ensure a smooth delivery that is never harmful, and continue learning. Stay updated with the latest trends in the presentation skills and medical information and scientific knowledge. Don't present a topic or a scientific knowledge that you are not mastering. Feedback and adaptation is very important to enhance your advanced medical skills and medical presentation skills. Seek feedback after each session and adapt accordingly for continuous improvement. Thank you very much, and looking forward to meeting you again.